Hello everyone, Captain Bravo back again with another deck profile. Got a good one here for you today. I'm going to be telling you about Hero World, particularly the Quartet 5 build. Really just a great build. Okay, so starting off, pretty much Hero World is all about doing something real special. There are certain monsters that you can either do something called ride or transform and able to use them like a weapon. For example, a favorite of a lot of people, Explosive Takedown Rampage Sonic. By paying 1 gauge, you can place him on top of your flag, and then he is now equipped like a weapon. The only difference is, the really cool thing, is since he has 3,000 defense, any monster of your opponents that wants to attack you has to have at least 3,000 attack to be able to damage you. So it's like attacking a monster, but now it's an item, so they'd attack you, and you technically have defense. Only drawback is, now effects that were able to target a monster before cannot, because it is an item now, not a monster. Though other spells, like one I'm going to tell you about later, can still target it, as long as it has a certain designation. Alright, so the Quartet 5, pretty much they're kind of like Power Rangers. As you can see, we have the original 3 here, Einder, Zwider, and Drider. Pretty much they're all size 1 monsters with usually 2 critical each. Einder is a 5-2-1 monster, Zwider is a 4-2-3 monster, and Drider is a 3-2-4 monster, so really relatively weak stats, but it's used to do a combination I'll tell you about a little later in the video, and also for a good rush. Now, you may think that since they're size 1s, you can fill all 3 of your spaces with them, and you may think, well, wouldn't that cancel out the transform ability? The thing is, in most cases it would, but there is a card that allows you to still use it even with a Quartet 5 in the center. The 9th Warrior 9, which I do use as the buddy myself, by paying 1 gauge you can transform onto it. It is a 3-1-3 monster. Its skill allows it to attack even if you have a Quartet 5 in the center. So I have Einder here in the center, and I have 9 equipped. 9 is still able to attack because Einder is a Quartet 5. Now there is another type of couple more Quartet 5s besides the original 3 and 9 that you can get. Personally, there is one of them I do not use myself because I don't like his skill, even though he is a great attacker. Shoot, where did he go? Yes. Hero Hunter Sieben. You need to pay 1 gauge to attack with him, and yeah, he is a 5-2-5 monster, but this deck does use gauge, so you would be running out of there fast. It's a good monster to play. I personally just don't like using them. Another Quartet 5 monster there has for the deck is Stray Warrior Via. Yes, he is carrying a mechanical pencil as his weapon because that is really cool. Now this is a 4-2-2 monster. Pretty sweet. It's another transform monster paying 1 gauge. So you have a few of those in the deck, Einder, 9, and Veer. So he's also great if you can't get the other cards you need. Now, the main power card of this deck is called Infinite Robo Mathematics. This card is a size 3, 10-2-5 monster, so it is pretty damn sweet. You can only call it when you have 3 Quartet 5 on the field. Now, even though a transform monster like Einder is counted as an item now and not as a monster, it still counts as Quartet 5, so as long as you have any 3 Quartet 5, even one that's transformed on the field, you can call Infinite Robo Mathematics. Now, Mathematics, you can take any Quartet 5 monster on your field, all of them actually, throw them in the soul of this monster, so he has double attack and soul guard. Now, a mistake that I made early on is that I thought a monster equipped like Einder would go in the soul as well, but I've recently been informed that that is not true. A transformed monster would stay on the field since, as I said, it is an item now. Okay, moving on to some spells. There are some staple spells. that you will need in really any hero deck. First off, there's a great spell we have here. New program, 3-man squad, Quartet 5. This card allows you to search for any size 2 or less Quartet 5 and add it to your hand. Another such staple of Hero World is It's About Time I Got Serious. By paying 1 gauge, you can draw 2 cards if you have 6 life or less. Again, also, since you have transformed this deck, often your center is going to be open, which would be a little cause for worry. But just as in Dragon World, there is an attack blocking card. I've seen through your move. You can only play this to nullify an attack when there is no monster in your center. So again, for example, you have Einder equipped. Yeah, it may be originally a monster, but as I said again, it is an item. So you do not have a monster in your center. Also be equipped anyway. Now, something really cool that you can do with transformed monsters is you can still target them because the transformed Quartet 5 are still superheroes, so you can activate Justice Will Prevail. This is the dragon energy of superhero decks, giving 3,000 power and defense and counterattack. And since it says just targets a superhero in battle, I can target my equipped Quartet 5 and add the power and defense to it, therefore maybe even stopping an attack. Now, sometimes you may be caught in a spot where you need another Quartet 5 monster in the field, or you need something to equip. So for that, there's this card. I knew something like this would happen. It costs 1 gauge to use, which is a little unfortunate, because then you also have to pay the call cost of the monster you are targeting. So let's say I have Einder or 9 in the drop zone. I could pay the 1 gauge, and then their call cost, and then by call cost, I do mean transform cost, and then I can equip them from the drop zone. Another good power card that you need, especially also when you need gauge for the next turn, is Reckless Bravery. This gives you 5,000 power and penetrate to your superhero in battle, and it does put them in the gauge at the end of that battle. So if you're building up for a big move, that card can be useful. Also, another gauge charging card that is good to have in this deck is Hyper Energy. This is pretty much a staple for any Hero World deck. It allows you to put 4 cards in your gauge. Now, another such gauge charging card that I do not have yet is Launch Buddy Police. It gives you 1 life, and also you put a card into your gauge. Now, for any spells someone would try to use to try to destroy your equipped monster or anything else against you, there is Or So the Dream I Had Went. By paying 2 gauge, you can negate any spell that is thrown against you. Last spell that I have for you is Hero Climax. This is an integral card in this deck. It allows you to build up for your impact later. You see, if you have a superhero, like Infinite Realm of Mathematics, who destroyed at least 2 monsters this turn, you can play this, stand it for a 3rd time, and gain 2 life, which helps you build up for your impact. Equation of Victory winning formula, which can only be played when your opponent has 3 life or less and no monsters on the field. So again, Hero Climax would help you get in that 3rd attack you need to either destroy their last monster or to bring their life points down to 3. Now, I don't have all the support for this deck, but some other good things I found I can use to replace, like say, because I said I don't use Sebin, I actually run a Buddy Police Decker Drum, which is sweet because it's a superhero, so I can still use other cards that I need to have in this deck for targeting superheroes. And by paying 1 gauge to call them, then by paying 2 gauge, once per turn you can destroy any monster on the field. Again, I mention for the next card, Explosive Takedown Rampage Sonic, which again is a 5/3/3 monster. It's sweet for a transform if you need it in a pinch or need some extra power. Last one I use is Cyber Police Lightning Chaser. This is a brave machine, but it's also a superhero. It's a gauge charger when it destroys monsters. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to come back with another Hero World video once I get enough for card burn. But again, please rate and subscribe. And leave in the comments below what deck you'd like me to do next. Thank you for watching. All of you have a great day.